Good evening, everybody. Eimear Burke here. Welcome to another Fireside Chat, where I'm in conversation with a member of the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids. So just let me know that you can hear me. I've been messing with my settings, so if you can let me know if you can hear me. I see. Hi, Jules. Hi from the Netherlands. From Skegness. Hello from Brazil. Hi, Claudia. What a lovely fire. Thanks, Maria. Can you hear me? Is the sound okay? Just so that I know. Hi, Jan from Buckinghamshire. Oh, yes, I'm fine. Thank you. Lovely. Hi, Anne from Montreal. Beautiful, beautiful. Buckinghamshire, Montana, Scotland. That's wonderful. Bedfordshire. Hi, Linda from Maryland. Pat from Northern Ireland and from Mexico City. That's great. Geert, I hope. Oh, Geert from Belgium. Forgive my pronunciations. And you can hear me in Northwest England. Lovely, Pauline. So this evening we go to Brazil, and I'd like to introduce my guest to you today. I'm going to pronounce this properly now because I've been practicing. Marcello Sodré Moriera. So you are so welcome, Marcel.
Thank you very much, Eimear. Here I am.
Hey, so tell me, where in Brazil are you? I know it's a huge country.
Oh yeah, I'm very close to Rio de Janeiro. I am
Ah,
on
okay.
the mountains at Rio de Janeiro State. It's about 85 kilometers from Rio in a city called Petrópolis. And the district here it's called Araras. Araras is a very beautiful place, like plenty of wildlife.
Okay. Petropolis sounds Greek. Stone,
Yeah,
no?
Petrópolis comes from like the Brazilian history because many people don't know about that, but we got an empire a long time ago. So two Portuguese emperors, they were Brazilian emperors too, and both of them are called Pedro. And so Petrópolis means city of Pedro, So it's
Ah,
in reference from one of the Brazilian emperors.
okay. So Claudia Baptista Ribeiro is from Petropolis as well. I don't, it's a bit like, do you know each other? And I'm sure you've got thousands and thousands of people living there. Anyway, so you're not alone. You've got a hometownie with you tonight.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, so you're living up in the mountains. So what's your landscape like?
Oh, it's like here we got the Atlantica forest. It's a place like tropical place, but with like a high altitude, not so high. I'm talking about 800 meters from the sea level, But it's already enough for getting different weather. Here it's like
Uh,
it's cold, compared to Rio de Janeiro, of course. Like during the winter time, 5 a.m. we can get like three positives. Like for being very close to Rio de Janeiro, this is kind of cold weather.
is this three degrees centigrade?
Yeah, positives. Yeah.
Oh, and that's cold. Okay, all right. You're very, very lucky. So, so you've got lots of trees there where you are. You're saying if
Sure,
it's
sure, we do. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Yeah,
if
we
somebody
got
says
we got a lot of. Yeah, sure. Continue, please. Yeah, I'm sorry.
no, no, you go on.
No, I was just describing that like it's a tropical forest, but with some like influence from being like a high place, compared to Rio de Janeiro, that's in the sea level. Rio de Janeiro
Okay,
City got some mountains like uh, Corcovado. It's almost 700 meters, But here it's even colder than like Corcovado Mountain that's in Rio de Janeiro city itself, you know. So um, yeah, and here there are a lot of like animals, wild animals. Uh, we have here like some like it's not so common, but we got even cougars and a kind of wolf here. It's called guará wolf. It's like a Brazilian wolf we got here. Yeah.
Okay, can you just watch your microphone there? Just
Sure,
there's a
sure,
bit of
sure.
conversation. So when you say the cougar and this Brazilian wolf is there, I mean,
hmm
have you seen them? Can they come into your garden, or are you?
Um, well, actually, once a long time ago, I took my dog to the vet, and then there was a Guará wolf there, like asking for medical help because unfortunately he got hurt from like a hunter's trap, and then
Oh,
they were trying to help him there, and they did. Unfortunately, he lost one of his paws, but he went to a Guará Wolves sanctuary, not very far away from here, in another state called Minas Gerais state, about probably 3 hours from here, 3 4 hours from here. Yeah.
how wonderful! So, but have you seen them in the wild? Like if you go into the forest?
Not yet, not yet. Yeah, here we can see normally at my place and going around like many birds like toucans. We got a lot of toucans here, you know, and here the name from the street from the district where I live, Araras. Araras means macaws, you know, so the birds,
Okay,
macaw.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And unfortunately, I have never seen macaw here. My grandfather used it to say that we had here, but yeah, like I don't know, maybe um, hunters they killed them. That's terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody asks, is poaching an issue for your birds?
Birds.
Yeah, you.
Which
I know
ones?
some. I don't know. I mean, I somebody said that you have a huge bird population in.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. Brazil got like a huge population, a big variety.
Oh, okay, wonderful. So I'm curious. Your landscape. What brought you to Druidry? I mean, you're a Brazilian. You're living in the southern hemisphere,
Yeah.
up in the mountains, and you suffer, you poor thing, from 3 degrees centigrade in the winter. And so
You're
you've the
making a
mountains.
joke about the temperature. I know that. Okay, go on.
I just want to show you that I'm kind and caring, and I'm sympathetic. So
Okay.
so what brought you to Druidry? I mean, I'm familiar with our four seasons here. I don't know. Do you have four seasons in where you are? Just what brought you to Druidry?
Well, I am. This is a good question. My family is Christian, is Catholic,
Hmm.
uh, but like I never like it so much to be inside a church praying and then like doing uh, all the Catholic ritualistic, etc. I always felt connected to nature, you know,
Uh-huh.
and I started reading about some nature-based religions, and I fell in love for Druidry, you know, and then I start like studying. Uh, First, I got access to like another uh, like Celtic paganism religion or spirituality, like Wicca. I think that
Uh-huh.
many people got first contact with Wicca first. I like Wicca. I have some Wiccans like as friends.
Uh-huh.
Nothing wrong with that, but I don't know. I prefer Druidry because I think like Wicca is amazing too, but Druidry I think like got maybe more material to study about, and then something deeper. This is just my point of view. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I felt.
Well,
Yeah,
the thing about Druidry is that, it's your relationship to it and the sense that you make of it, and it's your own. Although we are an order, your spiritual
yeah,
path is your
sure.
own, so it allows that freedom to for you to explore your spiritual path in whatever way you wish.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, and I like whenever we read like the OBOD booklets and like the Gersi. I'm not sure about the pronunciation, but yeah, Gersi, and
Worse.
we can yeah, Gers, yeah. We can see that like it's really open. Um, you can feel and you can live Druidry the 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 way you think it's correct for you, so for some people it's a religion, for some people it's a spirituality, a way of life, or um but it's always like really connected to the nature and to the like natural things of the world. And I am really I'm really connected to this point of view, so to uh, because nature is everything for everybody, or it should be.
Indeed, indeed. It's interesting because I was contacted by a Brazilian who since joined the order years and years ago, Juliana,
Hmm.
and she told me she was from Brazil and she was interested in Druidry. And I thought, what? How can you have somebody? And then we've had lots of Brazilians living in Ireland, and sometimes at the
Yeah.
ceremonies we might have maybe 16 Brazilians come to a ceremony, and they all dance. And uh, I've been intrigued with how it never ceases to amaze me how people from all over the world can find that connection, and how um, there's a lovely question I'm going to come to in a minute. I'm just going to put it up on the screen so I don't forget it. That um, we can meet and yet coming from different parts of the world, different cultures, and yet, like somebody mentions, the spark of life that connects us. And it always excites me. So I'm always asking questions, and it's never meant as an antagonistic question, but I'm really, really curious. Now, Ben Stimson has a question.
Yeah.
Do you see a similarity between Druidry and Brazilian traditions like Candomblé, Kimbanda, and Espiritismo?
Yeah, like there are some. For instance, Candomblé and Kimbanda, we're talking about not just that, but started like with the Afro-Brazilian people.
Yeah.
You see, so uh, they got um, orishas. Orishas are like not exactly gods and goddesses, but kind of,
Uh huh.
like
Yeah.
spirits. Yeah. And uh, so if we think like depending on the way you face Druidry, because there are some uh, Druidry students that they are monotheistic. Some got like the god and the goddess. Others they are polytheistics, right?
Yes.
So if you are polytheistic, it's easier to make a parallel between Druidry, Candomblé, and Kimbanda, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spiritismo, I mean, there are many ways of Spiritismo, but if we think about Kardec, Allan Kardec, uh, it's more like I think that Kardecism is uh, there is a strong Christian component,
Yes.
at least here in Brazil, and maybe like okay, they do believe in life after death, but maybe in a different way. Not maybe in a different way, So these things about like uh, European paganism, like Valhalla from the Vikings or Summerland from like Celtic culture, is it's like slight different from like the have I'm not sure because I'm not an expert about that, but
Okay.
what I read about like it's not heaven, but like the spirit settlements or colonies, So I'm not sure if it's in the same way. Yeah, that's
So
it.
I imagine Candomblé and Kimbanda are nature-based spiritual paths. Yes,
If they are what? I'm sorry, Emma.
nature-based spiritual paths.
Yes, yes, normally they are. Yeah, we got like Orisha from the wind, Orisha from the waters, Orisha from the. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so it's around. I'm always interested, even though things might seem very, very different, to be able to spot the connections and the common threads. Uh, and
Hmm.
I think that's fascinating to be able to look where, yes,
Sure.
if you're nature based, or if um, I know with the spiritismo, that's the
Yes.
you mentioned that word,
Candomblé,
yeah.
Candomblé, Kimbanda, Umbanda. Yeah.
So and the spiritismo, that's the spiritist one. That's the Christian based, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Here
so
it is. Yeah.
okay, because I've been at conferences in the UK where we had doctors from Brazil from that tradition
Okay.
talking about
Hmm.
spirit attachment and how you free people, and that they would say that a lot of illness is as a result of spirit attachment, and how they can be removed. And in my shamanic training, all of that is possible. So
Sure.
even though they come from a Christian um, origin
Background. Yeah.
background, that you can still actually have points of connection.
Sure.
Uh,
Yes.
so and that's what always interests me, because then there's room for everybody to
Yeah.
be able to be together, which is slightly different, but we can talk similar languages.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I know what it meant. Yeah, this is interesting. Sure. Yeah, indeed.
Okay, so when you, um, I don't know how long you're practicing Druidry. Are there many?
Well,
Actually, are there many? Go on.
no, 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 no. I mean, my first contact with OBOD, it was like in 2015. So
Okay.
2015, I enrolled myself at the Bardic course. I'm still a bard. I think that I'm having my own time. One
Yes.
day I'm gonna apply to be an ovate, but not yet. Yeah, I think I need more time to absorb like everything I need to.
Absolutely. And of course, this is your own path. So you take it at your own pace, which is beautiful. So, as a druid or as a bard, I mean, I don't, I'm not distinguishing. Um,
Hmm.
for you, would you see druidry as something you do or something you are? Or has
Both.
it claimed you yet? Go on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that I am. It's something that I do, and it's something that I claim. Like, uh, why? Because like I love nature, and I love to study about like the the festival celebrations, because we're celebration we're celebrating nature. We are celebrating us because we are part of the nature. Human beings should always think in this way, or at least they should, because of course we are part of the nature. Um, it's something that I do because like Brazil is passing through a hard time. I mean, in a political way. Um, yeah, and environment is a big concern, like for many Brazilians, and I include myself at this group. And so I think that we need to care about the environment.
Mm.
We need to to take action sometimes to protect the environment. It's not just voting, but like protesting and even doing like simple things like recycling our garbage, etc. So something that we have to take on our minds. And and it's something that I claim because that's the only possible exit for not destroying our planet. So because Drugi is really concerned about the nature, and if it's concerned about the nature, it's concerned about life. you know and
Yeah, yeah.
it's something, yeah, that I love because like it Drugi really tries, and I think that is doing fine, fighting against prejudices, right?
Mm.
Any kind of prejudice, like uh, whatever we think about, like why should we have prejudice against like other human beings that they do different things, they are different, they think different, and yeah, so Drugi is a my opinion is a complete doctrine for like trying to prepare and live in a better world. That's it.
Okay. I've a little question, a little off this, but it's from Charlene, who does
Hmm.
samba in New Zealand. So she says, in the old Brazilian beliefs, where dies where does the spirit return? To the stars or a heaven? Do people honor the ancestors with a festival like Samhain or the Day of the Dead like in Mexico?
People honor the sister. Oh, this is a good question. Well,
Yeah.
if we think about the first Brazilian inhabitants, we need to talk about indigenous people and indigenous traditions, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, so, sorry, what was the question, please? Sorry again.
It's okay.
The
Uh,
Brazilian beliefs. Where does the spirit return? That's a good question. Um, Following the indigenous traditions, when we die, yeah, I think I need to research about like indigenous traditions. I'm sorry, I don't know exactly right now. I'm not gonna say
okay.
anything just to, yeah, to answer, because maybe I'm gonna say something that's not correct. To the
Oh,
stars or heaven, yeah.
yeah.
And second one, it's, do people
Do
honor
people honor
the
the
ancestors?
yeah.
Yeah, like indigenous do. Indigenous, they're always like honoring like their ancestors, their like uh, indigenous chiefs. Uh, when especially when they show a braveness into like some battles, indigenous battles. And so because indigenous people, they use it to live in peace, but sometimes in wars too, so. And to be brave for indigenous people is something quite important. To be to be bold, to be brave, something like that. They are like Brazilian brave hearts.
Okay, okay. And do you have a Day of the Dead like in Mexico?
Well, yeah, I know what I mean. No, no, it's not like Mexico. No, it's not like Mexico. There are some pagan fellows that they uh, they kind of follow like Dia de los Muertos from
Yes.
Mexico, and they practice. They do some rituals but it's not exact. It's not a Brazilian thing. It's more like important thing. Um, there is the Day of Death, the Dads here. That's in November.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, but I think it's a worldwide holiday.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not sure if it's holiday, but here it is a holiday. Yeah.
Well, that's when we celebrate Samhain. I just want to welcome Emeka Mokeme from Lagos, Nigeria. It's lovely to see people
Hmm.
from Africa because I haven't been to West Africa, East
Good.
Africa,
Yeah.
and Southern Africa, but it's nice to see people from the African continent here. Um, so, for you, how do you see your responsibility as a druid and as a future ancestor?
Yeah,
No
the
pressure.
future ancestor. Yeah. Oh, uh, well, good question. I think I'm not better than anybody. For sure, I'm not. But I'm trying uh, to let a legacy here, like of respecting the nature and fighting for the environment too, and like trying to be a good person. That's so common sense, right? But um and continue studying Druidry because I do believe it's a nice uh, tradition, a nice rituality, very
Hmm.
very close to what the world needs. But it's like future ancestor. You went deeper. Very nice. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, no, it's and I suppose it's not about what massive legacy you're going to leave, but around I think how any of us can be good future good future ancestors is how we live our lives now because we are creating right now we're
Yeah,
creating the
sure.
future and
The future,
um,
absolutely.
and perhaps living the best possible way. Somebody asked, when you were talking about, the environmental concerns in Brazil with the Amazon and all of that. Does Brazil promote ecotourism? And somebody said, or spiritual ecology. Does or is
If
tourism just
Brazil,
exploitative in Brazil? What kind of tourism is
well, I think there are both. There is like the normal
yeah,
nature tourism, like or people going to wildlife places, beautiful places, plenty of nature. So we're talking about the Amazon. Uh, we're we're talking about Pantanal. Pantanal is not Amazon, like different landscape. It's more about a swampy area, but
okay,
crowded with like um, big alligators and big snakes and
yeah, yeah.
etc. Yeah, cougars too. Um,
Cougar
but
stew.
there are cougars too. Yeah, we have a lot of cougars here. They are still here. Many, unfortunately, many hunters try to extinguish them, but they were still here. Yeah,
Okay,
it's true. Yeah, and but there are some tourisms that they are related to a like spirituality.
okay,
For instance, there is a place called São Tomé das Letras in Minas Gerais state. It's about 6 hours from here, and it's a wonderful place, very energetic place. There are many waterfalls there, and there are a lot of legends about this place. For instance, there is a legend that says that São Tomé das Letras got a tunnel. This is kind of crazy, but anyway, that links São Tomé das Letras to Machu Picchu in Peru. You know,
Oh, okay.
so yeah, imagine a huge tunnel linking both cities, and people say too. There's another legend that says that it's like uh, ET like area there. Some ETs they use it to hide themselves, like under the the earth there. Under the like um, how could I put this? Yeah, it's like um, underground. Underground there, and some like there are many people saying that it's very common and very possible to see ET's spaceships there, and even some other like little people too, nothing to do with ETs, but I'm talking about gnomes too, yeah. So really, really very energetic. I would make a parallel, like it's not the same, of course not, totally different landscape, but the energy is closer to Glastonbury. I have already been to Glastonbury, so I
Okay.
can make this parallel. Yeah, like it's a small city there too, just like
Yeah, yeah.
Glastonbury is. Yeah, and like nice nice places to stay there, and yeah, there are many legends, and but the energy is really real. You can feel both places. You got a very strong energy. That's what I can talk to you.
And do you, would that be a place where you would go and hold a ceremony, or what?
There, I mean, yeah,
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 yeah.
sure. Are you asking me if like São Tomé das Letras is a nice place to hold a ceremony there? Are you asking me
Yes,
that? No. Yeah, it is
yes.
definitely. Yes, yes, it is. It is.
And
Sure.
somebody's Charlene is, where is this place like Glastonbury you're talking about? I don't speak Portuguese, so I can't hear it. So maybe you can put it in after the chat. You can put it in the
Sure.
in the chat,
Okay.
or you can say it again anyway.
Yeah. Okay. That's São Tomé das Letras. That's São. It's SAO.
Yeah.
Tomé. It's THOME. Das DAS. Letras, LETRAS. São
Ah,
Tomé
I
das
see now.
Letras.
So is that
Yeah,
Saint Thomas of the Letters? No.
yeah.
What does it mean?
São
Is that
Tomé das Letras. São Tomé das Letras. The right pronunciation. Yeah.
and that means Saint Thomas of the Letters? No. Is that
Yeah, yeah. It is. It is. Like there's a story about that. Yeah.
okay? Claudia has just put it in the box, so we're okay.
Oh,
All
thank
right.
you.
So, are there other sacred places, where, I mean, where do you do your ceremonies? It is in your own garden, or do you find
Yeah.
that there are places in your landscape, or that there are well-known places in your area where
Well,
you go?
I mean, here when I started studying Druidry through OBOD, they suggested us, like it's there in the booklet, to have your own grove, right? Like as something important and even useful for studying whenever you have this opportunity. And so here I do have like a nice area.
Hmm.
That's my grove. It's not a big grove, but it's really cool. very comfortable. I feel comfortable being there, and so I have already celebrated many festivals there. It's a very nice place to be. Yeah. So asking like answering your questions, I do have my own grove here in my property. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. And are you a
Yeah.
solitary druid, or do you have a seed group?
Yeah,
Or do you?
this is a good question. Yeah, I tried to have a seed group, and we had like beginning like we were five people together, but for many reasons, especially last year, 2020
Mhm.
pandemic
Yeah.
days, and even nowadays we are still in the pandemic. I have been celebrating the festivals alone, so
Okay.
I am by my own right now. Yeah.
As are, so many members of the order are. So yes,
Yeah.
it's and then we've started these online ones. So hopefully that kind of brings us more
Sure,
together in these crazy times. So
but I would like to thank you too, because you're giving support for like especially from for the southern hemisphere too, and I appreciate that. Like I am in touch with Debbie from South Africa, and some like Australian and New Zealanders fellows too, and I felt myself very welcome there, like with all of these like Southern Hemisphere fellows, and this is good because I here in Brazil, it's like uh, sometimes it's even like strange and weird, because some pagans here, they do follow the northern wheel, so they celebrate
okay,
the festivals following the northern wheel, and some others they do follow the southern one. And for me personally, I do think that if we are uh, following a nature-based spirituality, uh, we should. That's my personal thought. We should respect the the natural rhythm, the natural,
okay, yeah,
like, so if we are here in the summer, why are we going to celebrate the winter? That- I mean, I'm not saying that Brazilians that they celebrate in the northern wheel, they're doing it wrong. That's the way they feel, but I feel
yeah.
differently, and so I could find some very nice fellows, nice friends from the southern hemisphere, that we are doing together like studies, and we already celebrated a festival together, so it was very nice. It's always good to have this interaction, especially when you are studying and doing like juju
Mhm.
stuffs alone. So yeah, it's always good to have companions too.
Indeed, indeed. But I think, I really get what you're saying is around being very in touch and in tune with with the rhythms of your own landscape. And I think that was one of the
Yeah.
things that drew me to Druidry, was even though working with an African healer from Tanzania and a Native American medicine tradition, they weren't mine. And that being, and to be able to find Druidry and to engage with the rhythms and seasons of my own landscape have been really, really important and enriching. And like, there's no one way to do it, but that's what has helped me. And so I understand your need to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So, do you have a daily practice?
I should have.
Uh, and this is not
Yeah.
meant to make you feel guilty, you know.
I'm guilty for not having a daily practice. I mean, Of course, whenever I wake up, I thank the goddess and the god to be alive, to have another chance of living another day. And so
Okay.
I
And
try
ah,
to
sorry,
meditate
we
every
just
day. Yeah,
Marcel, can you just repeat that again? We had a temporary lapse that my internet went, so you
sure.
kept talking and I didn't hear you. So just that's meant as a
Yeah,
gentle
sure.
question. Do you have a daily practice?
Okay, so I was saying that I should have like a daily practice. Um, it's not like a daily practice, but yeah, almost every day I thank the god and the goddess to be alive and to have another chance of like trying to do good things, etc. I try to meditate every day too.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's basically that. And I am always like thinking about the next festival, to be in tune with it, so yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's a daily practice, but it's a very frequent practice I do have. Yeah.
Okay, and it needs to work for you. It's not about having to and laying down rules and
Yeah. Sure.
laws. It's around,
Uh-huh.
and this is what's wonderful about the course is that you're given a menu and you say, okay, try this, and if it feels right, do it, and if it doesn't, don't, or maybe come back to it at
Yeah.
a later point. That there's a broad menu from which to choose to see what resonates with you, and it's to be the best possible druid that you can be. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know what a good druid looks like. So if that's not important, it's it's. How would you say, or has there been a time when druidry has supported you?
Can you say it again, please?
Okay, has there been a time in your life when druidry has supported you? I imagine, a challenging time in your life,
Oh,
when you would say, oh,
yeah.
"Thank goodness I have this to rely on or to support you."
Well, good question too. Um, I think that Druji gives me hope. Druji gives me
Okay.
hope for better days. So Brazil is facing a hard time now.
Hmm.
Our president is a crazy and evil man, you know, and I'm not sure why he is there. Like he won the election. By the way, I have some guesses, but I cannot prove. So I'm not gonna say like everything
Yeah.
I think right now.
Okay.
Yeah, but mm, uh, yeah. So I I believe that Druidry gives me hope, gives me like knowledge uh, to to use like in a good way uh, the natural rhythms to help
Yeah.
people and to help me too. You know, so um, yeah, it's something. And Druidry. Whenever we are studying Druidry, we're studying many different not different things, but many things that they are interlinked.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you're kind of studying magic too. Druidry is magic too. So there are many very traditional like magics linked to Druidry, like shape shifting, etc. But like many people, they say, "Do you believe so?" Yes, not exactly the way people think is shape shifting, for instance, But yeah, of course there is a um, it's true. It's possible too. But what is the reason for that? And then like it's not just like learning and studying magic, but there is a reason for everything, right? Why do we study and practice druidry? This is something that all of us, even like the most experienced ones, uh, we should ask and answer for ourselves, you know. So yeah, hope is really one of the most important things that Juju gives me.
Okay. You mentioned the word magic. Druidry is magic. I don't know if you know that the Irish word for druidry and magic is the same. It means
Yeah,
druid.
I've already heard about, yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Um, so is there anything else that you combine with your druidry that supports you in your life?
Sure, sure. I have already studied like another mystic tradition that's Rosicrucianism, you know. So
Okay. All right.
Rosicrucianism, yeah, like Amorc. It's a it's an interesting tradition, you know, different background, but there are many similarities, I would say, you know. So
Can
yeah,
you
and
can you can you
yeah,
ex
please.
can you explain what Rosicrucianism is, just for people who may not know?
Yeah, I
Not
will,
that
but
question, not that one, not that one. But what is because you said that you studied Rosicrucianism. Are you still working with that path?
mm,
And what can you just explain a little bit what it is?
sure, like the light body exercise. That's one
Yeah.
of the fundamentals, like from Druidry. Uh, there is something very similar in the Rosicrucianism, you know.
Okay.
So this is a basic stuff, but and I would say that both of them they are really, it's like maybe it's a way that got some prejudice to saying that, but you know, like right hand magic or white magic. There's no white magic, there's no right hand magic, because magic is not white or black. It's like gray, depending on what you're gonna do. You wanna depending on what depending on your objective, right? Basically that. Yeah.
Your intention.
But
Oh,
yes, intention. Yeah, sure. But Rosicrucianism and Druidry, I consider like a magic trying to do good things, like not evil ones. You know.
okay. Sean Hinchcliffe asks, are you a mystic or a magician?
No, man. I'm more a mystic. I have already studied some magic in some other traditions. For instance, Aleister Crowley,
Yeah.
Telema, you know. So I have already studied, and there is a parallel that we can have. It's like two different traditions, of course, but Rosicrucianism and Telema, they are kind of like um, yeah, they're really linked to rituals. It's not like natural magic, you know. So we need to be inside a temple. We need to do some some stuff. There is an order, like not a logical order, or yeah, the name of that I forgot now, but it's not like uh whenever you go to the forest or to the beach, and then you do things like having your church is gonna be the landscape. This is
Yes.
something that attracts me into the Druidry, for instance. Yeah,
Okay. So you're more of a mystic than a magician.
I'm more a mystic, but I am a magician too.
So a nice piece of balance. What would you
Yeah.
say has your 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 greatest achievement been?
My greatest achievement as a mystic man or as
No,
a
no, as
magician.
a person, as a person.
Oh, my greatest achievement. Well, it's it's living the place where I'm living now. So I'm
Uh-huh.
close to a big city. That's Rio de
Yeah.
Janeiro. But I'm not living there. I think it's a craziness living there. I don't want to live there anymore. Like visiting there, it's okay, but I am really linked to the nature, to the forest, to the mountains here. I'm married to Fernanda. She's my wife. We have been together for 12 years, and we have like a nice relationship. We have
Lovely.
we have big dogs here that we like them all. Yeah, I mean, I'm a simple man, so no. And okay, I've been studying like now I am a bard, right? I have already finished like all the booklets there and etc. And we know that bards, they are really linked to art, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But my art is not playing the guitar. It's not like sculpture. It's not. My art is a little bit different. Can you guess?
Go
Yeah,
on.
I think you do know. I am a martial artist. I am a
Ah, so,
Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter. Yeah,
oh wow. So,
yeah.
how high up are you? Are
My
you?
my rank.
Yeah.
I'm
This is an
a.
awful thing to ask. In OBOD, we never ask people their rank, and here I am asking you. Well, how good are you?
Uh, I'm okay. By the way, if you take a look at CBJJ site, that stands for Confederação Brasileira de Jiu-Jitsu. In my age group and my belt, that's black, that's brown belt. I'll be black one day, but I'm still brown belt.
Good.
I'm the second of the ranking there. Yeah, there are
Ooh, well
70
done.
fighters. Yeah, so I'm the
And you're number
second of
two out
the
of
the
70.
ranking.
Okay, I was going to ask you, what are you most proud of? But I imagine that's certainly good to be second out of 70 brown belts on your way to be a black belt. I think that's some achievement.
Yeah,
And of
it is.
course,
It is.
now I imagine there's a spiritual component to Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, is there?
Spiritual component.
Is
Um,
there?
I mean, I I try to leave that, but yeah, there are some masters that they are more linked to our origins, like because jiu-jitsu started in Japan, and then there was a jiu-jitsu master that came to Brazil in the beginning of the 20th century, and
Okay,
and and went to the north of Brazil, in a city called Belém, and like in the Amazon area there, and started like teaching a very famous family, that's the Gracie family from Brazil. And Gracie, not just Grace family, but this family is very famous here. And Grace's family, after like spread jiu-jitsu for whole Brazil, like a part of this Grace family, or most of them, after like the beginning of the 20th century, went living in Rio de Janeiro. And then I think that nowadays Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a martial art that the whole world is already practicing. Yeah,
wow.
like it's a grappling technique,
Mm.
you know. Yeah. It's
Well,
but I do for sport. I do for
oh,
sport.
okay.
That's what I like. Yeah.
Somebody says here, I need you as a bodyguard. America is dangerous. So anyway, if you ever are looking for a job, just Ellie Tallet, who has been a guest as well on the fireside, she says, I think there is a complicated web of beliefs that weave through many esoteric beliefs, including Druidry, Rosicrucianism. Truth is truth, whichever name is given, and each finds their own way, whatever the label. And
That's true. I agree. Yeah.
and I mean, somebody else, Poppy Kutanaki, I don't know if I've pronounced your name properly, and everyone's chosen path is their truth. And I think so. And that's what I love about what we do in the order, that allows you to follow that path and to follow your own truth. Um, what what's the biggest challenge you've had that you've overcome in your life?
Well, um, to know what I wanted. To know what I
Mm-hmm.
wanted, it was something very challenging. I started like well, after I finished my high school, I
Uh-huh.
started like studying economics here, economy, and after I transferred myself to business administration, and I even worked for a while at like international company,
Mm-hmm.
and but I really didn't like this kind of like um, big international company world. I think it's like this too much. Like it's really stressing. I really prefer simpler like a simpler life, you know, a simple life. And now I'm living the way I want, like in a small city, surrounded by nature, by animals. I have my dogs, I have my wife, and one day I'll be a black belt too. This is a
Good,
good
good,
thing
good.
for me. Yeah, yeah. And but it was it was like a long process. I'm 48 years old now, so almost 50, and for a long time I tried to adapt myself in Rio de Janeiro. That's uh, like uh, a big city there, and I think that there's a charm like living there, but it's not for me. I like
Mm-hmm.
visiting there. I have a lot of like family members living there and friends, etc. But I'd rather live in a calmer place. So that's what I'm doing now. So I think that it's not just that, but this was like, oh, an achievement that I got. It was not so
Okay,
simple, but I made it happen. Yeah.
well done. What are you grateful for in your life? I think you've mentioned a few.
What is what? I'm sorry.
What are you grateful for?
Grateful for. Oh,
Yes.
I'm grateful to well, I had very nice examples from my family. I for many reasons, but I grew up having my grandfather as my main father figure,
Mm-hmm.
and because my parents they divorced when I was a boy, and I had a chance of living with my grandfather called Lauro, and Lauro was a very important person in my life. So he tried to give me not just like uh, knowledge about many subjects, but trying to be balanced, you know. So it was, I am very grateful for having for being his grandson, and my grandma too. My grandma always incentivized me to be like an athlete, like an amateur one, because she was a swimmer. She
Okay.
participated from many like swimming competitions at her time, and I swam too. I swam in the swimming pool and in the sea. So like uh, open air competitions, like sea competitions, you know. And I liked it very much. I think that sports in general, they are very good for your body and for your mind, for your spirit, you know. And especially swimming in the sea, because you have a lot of contact with the nature. You
Yes,
are
you
in
do.
a, yeah, totally immersed, you know, there in the sea, like could and then you can see all the nature of fishes, and then you can think about everything. Some people got they got scared with the possibility of facing like sharks and etc. But here in Rio de Janeiro Sea, it's not so common. But yeah, swimming in the sea was very nice for like I think it's a good sport for druids, you know. So swimming in the sea,
Oh,
I
wonderful.
recommend. Yeah,
I just want to come back. Susie Barnes says, living the way you want is freedom. I gave up a career in the medical field to work as a naturalist, and the peace I found was priceless. And I think it's
sure.
really, really important. And I think that, you know, you have done that. And Charlene says, I love your honesty. It takes courage to change your life.
Thank you.
And and then she says again, that would have been a big decision. Sometimes making a decision is hard, but once we make it, the relief we feel is priceless. And I think sometimes before we make the decision, we can go through a lot of angst, pain, fear, all of that stuff. And then as soon as the decision is made, it's like, okay, that's done.
Sure it
And
is.
to feel that wonderful relief. And Cindy Smith, a lot of grandparents are treasures. Absolutely. So you've been very, very lucky to have had two important influences in your life, in your grandparents.
Yeah, yeah. I had this privilege of living with my grandparents. They were not perfect, of course not, but they were very good people, and I could get a lot of very important like teachings from them, you know. And and even I'm living now in a place that they owned. So it's I'm not the only owner here. My mother and my uncle, they are too. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, I am one of the owners. So this heritage was like, okay, um, there's some money involved, but not much. It's not a big property, but that's a nice place to be. That's a nice place to live, and this place came from my grandparents, so that's a nice place. Yeah.
Okay, so in a sense, you have that strong ancestral connection then. That uh, I was asking you how do you imagine, how do you take your responsibility as a future ancestor, but to be on on the property or the place
Yeah.
of your grandparents, it's a lovely thread to, there've been three generations of, you're the third,
Sure.
living
Sure.
is it in the same house or just on the same land?
Yeah, it's the same house, same land. It's like I just changed some furniture, but it's basically the same. Yeah. the same place. This place where I am now used to be my grandfather's office, and now it's mine. Yeah.
That's
So
wonderful. That's a wonderful
yeah.
line to continue on. Um, is there anybody from history that you admire, influential person?
Oh, there are some from the world history. You mean?
Yeah, or Brazilian history, or writers, artists, leaders.
Yeah. Well, I think that Gandhi from India is
Yeah.
a remarkable person. Yeah. Um, there
What
were.
was it? What was it
Yeah.
about Gandhi, particularly for you?
I I remember when I was I think I was 10 years old when Hollywood released Gandhi, the movie, and
Yes.
then I watched it and I loved it. His like Pacific resistance was meaningful.
Hmm.
He could conquer many important things without using violence. So it's something that I'm still trying to learn this way of doing things. For instance, I do believe that to be a martial artist gives me like a lot of responsibility too, because so we have been I have been training to cause some harm if I need to. But so I decided to be a sportsman, to be a jiu-jitsu competitor, because then I can relieve um, my aggressive side, but with rules,
Uh-huh.
you know. So doing something positive. That's a sport. So I'm not pit fighting on the street. And so making a parallel, you do not need like armies or forced armies, forced uh, yeah, armed forces to to solve problems. By the way,
Uh-huh.
like armed forces, they're gonna make the problems even harder to be solved. So we are human beings. We are dual beings. We have both sides. Yeah. So we need to this is something that I learned through like Rosicrucianism, to like alchemy, that I have already studied, not like transforming like common metals into gold. This is
Yeah.
like a parable, right? But
Yes.
it's all about that. You need to transform something that you got inside in a positive thing, in a positive thing that's gonna help you and the others that surround you.
Uh-huh.
You see? Yeah. I'm not sure if I answer you correctly.
So it's interesting. Is jujitsu an aggressive martial art, or is it defensive? I mean, is it there to protect you if you're attacked, or is it for you to?
No, it's much more self-defense technique. It's much
Okay.
more about that. Yeah.
So,
But yeah. No, I was going to say, but like nowadays, like not just now, but like for about 20 or 30 years, when mixed martial arts started, like uh, if you go there, if you go fighting, we can discuss if mixed martial arts, if it's a sport or not. Sometimes I think it's too violent to be considered a sport. But the point is, everybody, every single fighter needs to know a little bit of jiu-jitsu, or not just a little bit, just to need a lot of jiu-jitsu. I would say for the ground fight. You know, it's not a
Hmm.
striking one uh, that you're gonna punch and be punched, kick and be kicked. No, it's like if you go to the ground, what could you do? So there are some locks and chokes techniques that's what jiu-jitsu studies, you know. Yeah, but it's much
Just
more a self-defense technique. Yeah,
and I know from people who have mastered an art like that that they are less likely to get into trouble because they know they can defend themselves and they can avoid
sure,
a fight. Where when you
it's
don't,
true.
you can end up. And I think that having that ability to protect yourself gives you a certain level of confidence within yourself,
That's true.
and that actually keeps you safe because it's all within that.
Yeah,
People can sense from you, I'm not going to go near you because I'm going to end up in trouble. And you
yeah,
know that you will deal with me if you have to, but you're happy to walk away because you know, and it's that you have that security in yourself, that
it's
it's not
true. It's
cowardice.
true,
It's
Amy.
like, I don't want
Yeah,
to fight, and I know I can if I have to, but I'd rather not, so I can walk away. So would you
exactly.
say, so I imagine, would you describe yourself as a pacifist?
You imagine what? I'm sorry.
Would you describe yourself as a pacifist?
I try to be.
Okay,
I
yeah.
try to be. Yeah, I make a strong effort to be. Sometimes I am a warrior, but I like, especially if we're gonna like not a fight, not a physical fight. I mean, not we hope not, but we have to fight for what is right, like for our world environment, for our um, like principles of having a true brotherhood in the whole world. It's like what John Lennon used to say: "You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one." Right? I hope someday you join us, and the world will be as one.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but I try to be I try to be a pacifist, of course, but like during my fights in the championship, I want my opponent to give up, right? So following
Okay.
the rules, I apply the techniques for that, you know. But in the end, oh, I have a lot of friends from jiu-jitsu. I have like I in 2019 I visited Argentina, and I got like a very nice friend there that he was my opponent, but he's a jiu-jitsu lover too, you know. So I went there, I trained with him. So he was my rival, but he is my friend, you know. So that's what we have to keep in our minds and hearts. Yeah.
Absolutely. You may have touched on it, but maybe I'm going to ask this more directly. Is um, a concern you have about the modern world?
Um, to become so violent, because
Uh-huh.
it's already violent, but become even worse, and like to maybe like to have more and more starving people. We need to rethink our systems of living, you know. So I would like to see something more fair, you know.
Hmm.
um, accumulating a lot of richness doesn't make sense to me. You know, I I don't need to be rich to be happy, and
Mhm.
I think that no nobody uh, nobody should need to be so much rich, and especially because you're gonna see a lot of brothers and sisters being really miserable, So I don't know exactly what could be done, um, but something has to, and then we need to discuss. Maybe we need to have like an open forum to talk about that. Something that I like it a lot in jewelry that I see many fellows they try to be fair to uh, they think very similar to me, like they really want to live in a better world, in a more fair world, So it's something that I do consider really important. Yeah.
Poppy says here, but you need money to be able to give. What do you think about that?
Well, that's true, but maybe you don't need so much money. There are for instance, um, you have ways that you can try to live without like less money. If you have a vegetable garden, if you can if you can reuse the rainwater,
Yes.
if you can. So there are ways that you can do to minimize the money usage, So
Hmm.
uh, yeah, probably it's not gonna be in my generation or in the next many generations that money is gonna be extinct. But yeah, I don't know, but we can minimize using money. Like there are like oil. Like petrol. Uh, is it really important to burn that quantity of petrol, like using it as a fuel? Like uh, there are many other like important things to be done with petrol, with oil. Like can you imagine if we do not have like syringes made of plastic anymore? Like they are very useful, especially now that we are living the pandemic times, right? So yeah, imagine if everybody needed to use like glass syringes. It's gonna be difficult. Yeah. So we could rethink the use of our natural resources. Yeah.
The thing about glass syringes is they can be reused. You autoclave them and you keep them clean.
Sure, it's true. It's true. It's
It's
true.
not, and that's not difficult to do that. When I lived in Kenya in the early 80s, we used disposable syringes, but we reused them. We reused the
Okay.
needles and the syringes. We put them in an autoclave and used the needles until they got blunt because there was such shortage. It may sound quite
It's true.
horrendous to, but we live in a very disposable society that everything gets thrown
It's
out. In my
true.
nursing days, dressing sets were always reused and cleaned and autoclaved, and now everything is thrown away. So the amount of waste and then stuff that needs to be incinerated is immense. And
Yeah.
so and I think somebody's that question about, but you do need money. We do, but I think it's the accumulation of vast amounts of money. There has to be a certain amount of money that above which is of no use to you because you can only spend so much. And it's around knowing that you have enough and having that sense of recognizing the abundance within your life. And somebody says here, love is free. Well, it is indeed. that yes, we do need money,
Yeah,
and it's
but
about
like,
sharing it rather
oh,
than accumulating it.
yeah. But I was thinking like I have already read about permaculture. I'm not an expert about that, you know, but permaculture. What I already read about that could solve many of our problems. If like imagine the whole world studying permaculture
Yeah,
and then trying to apply in their daily lives, you know. So it would contribute for a better world. This is the point. And permaculture doesn't say that you don't need money at all. You do, but
yeah,
you have like some other ways, some other means to have a good life without necessarily having a lot of money, you know.
that's right. And I think it's
Yeah,
redistribution of it, and also people having the skills to feed themselves. So
sure.
absolutely. Um, so when you think about all of this, and uh, something says, okay, knowledge and education is better and more needed than money in some places. Yeah, I think where you have money, maybe knowledge and education is needed to use it in a better way. But I think knowledge and education, or wisdom and education, because knowledge isn't enough, or it's knowing how to use knowledge that I think is the wisdom, isn't it? Uh, so when you think about these concerns that you have, what gives you hope about for the modern world?
What could I hope about the modern world?
Yeah, is there any hope for you? Not hope for you, but do you see hope for the modern world, given the way we are at the moment?
Um, maybe the way would be like to have conscience about the whole process, about like a different world, like based on. I mean, maybe I'm sounding naive about that, but like permaculture seemed to me like something good to be studied, you know.
Yeah,
So for as many people as possible, you know, and being like studied seriously, like doing something. Nice for the whole world society, you know. uh so I have this dream that people would start like paying more attention on like permaculture teachings. I think that
yeah.
could be like a nice answer, you know. And I make a strong parallel between permaculture and drudgery because there is an interconnectedness, you know. Yeah,
There is. I see. People are happy that you've mentioned permaculture. Floriana Rubino, ciao, Floriana. She says thanks for mentioning permaculture as one solution, and she gives a website, Bill Mollison's
good.
permaculture, and he's written widely on permaculture. And then Stephanie says it's not a naive idea at all.
Naive.
Uh, Absolutely. I mean, there are lots and lots of threads between permaculture and druidry, and druidry allows you to be empowered to be who you are. And I think following permaculture principles gives you that agency as well in terms of food production, food security, how to build your own house in an environmentally friendly way, etc. That is possible. I remember being when Howard, my husband, and I first went to Tanzania. We were invited to build a house by
Hmm.
my friend Shaban, my healer friend. And so we decided we would build a wooden house, um, so that our idea was that anyone could build a house like this. Because by the Bernie Siegel method. So it was one that you can undo it. We did have to take it down and move it to another place. It was
Hmm.
a very, very simple house. You made frames and you just had simple
Yeah.
foundations, and it was on stilts. And traditionally in and this is my experience of Tanzania and say Kenya, that
Mm-hmm.
people could always build their own house. And
Yeah.
in various traditions, it was the women who built their house. But
Yeah.
then with modernization, so people went from wattle and daub houses because people would come together and they'd help each other build their houses.
Mm-hmm.
And that were in keeping with the landscape and with the climate, etc. But then modernization came in, and then people wanted to build brick houses with metal roofs. But then that required skill. So that meant people themselves couldn't build their own house, which meant they had to
Mm-hmm.
save, and it cost a lot of money. So, in a sense, modernization takes basic living skills away from us as human beings, and then we leave it to experts, and then we are
Yeah.
helpless. Where,
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be able to build a house now. But well, I suppose I have that. I still have that book. Maybe I could have a go. But most people don't. That we've been the various modernize it. It makes it more and more sophisticated, so that we ourselves are less in tune with our landscape and with the building materials around it. So to be able to come back to that, I think
Sure.
permaculture can certainly offer that. That to be able
Yeah.
to grow our own food in the best possible way, build our own homes
Exactly.
that are in keeping with our climate and with our environment. It gives us a lot
Absolutely.
of, yeah, so many traditional skills have been lost, absolutely, which is such a pity. All in the name of modernization, which leaves
Yeah.
us actually very, very vulnerable. You know, a while back the power went, so we could have been gone. And then what do we do when we have no internet?
Yeah.
Where
Exactly.
it's so I suppose there's something you can leave your future descendants is something about permaculture. I'm presenting you with the challenge now, Marcel.
Oh, great. Yeah. I'll accept.
It's Poppy. Can you tell us the book? If you go up, Floriana has put. I don't know the title of the book, but it's a website, billmollison.permaculture.com. Um, and I don't know the exact title, but it could be Permaculture by Bill Mollison. Well worth even looking at his website. So
Great.
okay, so what is your favorite season? So just to get back to seasons in Brazil and your landscape,
Yeah.
do you have four seasons? Do you have a wet season, a dry season, a rainy season? What do you have in
Yeah,
Brazil where
we
you
do.
are?
Normally, like now, it's summer, so we are in the end of the summer here.
Okay,
Like it's a rainy time, so
okay,
it rains a lot. Now it's not raining, but it does. And then people should be aware of like flooding, etc. Um, but here, yeah, here on the mountains, it's like yeah, we need to to take care with lightning and these things. But there's like where I am, there's no flood, but in Petrópolis, in some other areas,
okay,
unfortunately, we got floods. Okay, after comes um, our autumn, our fall, and it's a beautiful time here, like beautiful colors, sky
okay,
colors is wonderful, etc. And it's not cold. It's still not cold. I love winter here. I was born in July. That's our winter here,
yeah,
and I love my the time of my birthday. Not because it is my birthday. That's I like it too, but I like this cold weather. So it's something that attracts me. I
uh-huh.
have already spent time in some cold places. For instance, I've spent 3 months in the U.S. close to Canada in Maine State, and then there I
Okay,
got minus 30, minus
oh,
30. So I felt
okay,
myself like a penguin. Yeah, minus 30. You need to calculate if you're gonna walk more than 2 or 3 minutes. better grabbing a taxi, so because you're gonna freeze. Yeah. And so after like July, then July, August here, September we got spring. Beautiful time here too. That's our Beltane, and then I feel like the Beltane time here. We see a lot of animals breeding, etc. So that's beautiful here, and yeah, and after that's the
Back into
the
summer
will
again.
continue. Yeah, it's gonna be.
So,
Uh,
what's your favorite festival? Just which part of the wheel of the year is your favorite
sure,
festival?
sure. Yeah, I like all of them. I like all of them. Uh, but I think that Samhain is very meaningful. It's very meaningful. Is our Celtic New Year's, right?
Hmm.
And it's an opportunity that you have to be in touch with your beloved ones that already passed away, and yeah, it's a little bit sad, but
Hmm.
it's important too. I think that's Samhain. It's my favorite festival. Yeah.
And it's interesting. I asked that question of everybody, all of my guests, and the majority of
Hmm.
people have said Samhain is their
Yeah.
is their favorite
All
one.
right.
Uh,
Yeah,
um,
I can
it's one of
imagine.
mine. I find actually when I'm doing it, I kind of go, "Oh, this is my favorite one," whatever I'm in.
But I think that
So,
all of them they are very important, right? Because yeah, it's like yeah, the eight festivals uh, they're part of our lives. We're living in this world, right? So eight different moments, eight different like perspectives, and yeah, and times that we are living. That's it.
so, I've one more question for you. Is
Hmm.
what will you what will you not compromise on? What is not negotiable for you?
Wow.
I just thought I'd leave you
uh,
with a big question at the end.
what it's not negotiable
Mm,
in my opinion. Not being a good person. So
okay.
if you're yeah, like you can have your own beliefs, you can have like your own way of life, but you need to be a good person. Doesn't matter if you are very intelligent, average, or even dumb, but you need to be a good person.
And what is a good person?
Good principles. Like I believe that if you don't do like this is a little bit Christian, but if you don't do things, um, if you don't do things that for others, um, that you wouldn't do for you, this is a good principle. I mean, like you need uh, to think to treat the other person the way you would like to be treated. So this is a good beginning. Of course, that there are some cultural issues, right? That depending on the culture you are living in, they could be different. But human beings, they are basically the same. I mean, you don't want to get hurt. Who wants to get hurt? Are you gonna hurt somebody? Why? So the many ways of hurting. So think twice before doing that. like, is it for self-defense? If if it's not, don't do it. And even if it is, there are a lot that there are a lot of ways of minimizing your harm, right? So it's true.
That's right. You mentioned saying it was like it was kind of Christian, but actually, I think that value is a universal one, and it certainly resonates with the Druid's prayer. You know, I mean, it's the love of all existences.
Yeah,
It's the love of justice, the knowledge of justice,
sure, it's true.
and that comes through respect. And Poppy says, treasure all life. Floriana says, respect every living being to be. Absolutely.
Sure,
And I think that is that as Druids, we have our own internal moral compass. We don't have a big book to tell us how to be, that we look to
exactly.
ourselves and
Yeah,
evaluate our own actions. And I think it's a very good rule of thumb to put yourself in the other person's shoes and treat people as you would like to be treated.
exactly. You got my point of view.
Well, Marcel, it's been absolutely wonderful talking to you. And
Thank you.
I've really, really enjoyed it. And there've been great comments. Valeria, for me, my freedom of thought and belief, that is something that you value, that you would not compromise on. Um, I think that's a very, very important as well. And of course, we are free to think, and it's to be able to recognize that we always can think. We have a choice there. May not always have a choice to speak out, but we certainly have
Sure.
that. So, so Linda Steele, thank you. Such a wonderful chat. Thankful for your time. So it's been absolutely wonderful talking to you. What time is it now? It's what, 6 o'clock? No, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, here in Rio area it's 6:36. Yeah.
Okay. So it's been, thank you so much for joining me. And just stay on the line, and I'm just going to say goodbye to everybody here.
Okay.
So,
All right.
so thank you so much for your comments. And I know I didn't get to read all of them because they happened so quickly, but we will look at them after the after this. So again, it's lovely having you here, and I look forward to seeing you all next week when I have another mystery guest. So in the meantime, be well. Slán go fóill. Bye bye for now.